Hello, I'm Tony Welsh and I'm the CEO of Barbecana. We have two add-in products from Microsoft Project, and I want to take a few minutes of your time today just to show you the features of one of them, which is called Schedule Inspector. Now, Schedule Inspector is designed to look for problems in your schedule, including bad practice in developing the network, incorrect progress information, and early indications that the project may not be about to complete on time. So, here we're looking at a project open in Microsoft Project, and if I want to access the Schedule Inspector, all I do is click on the icon. It will come up with this grid. It remembers what you did last time, so that it's basically got all the settings from the previous time. On the left, we have a list of the 30 different tests we do. Here is a checkbox which indicates whether the test was actually performed. There's a couple of other parameters, and then there's the result of the test. And as you can see, this particular test wasn't performed last time, and that's why it's showing as not available. If I want to run the test, I just click it, and it's done it. The particular test is on duplicate task names, and it's found 18 out of the 93 tasks have duplicates. Now, we can sort on any of these columns. For example, if we sort on the result column, it will sort by severity of the problem. More realistically, we might want to sort on the condition column, which is basically going to give us an alphabetical listing of the different tests that we do. Now, quite a few of the parameters of the tests can be changed. For example, if we look at this one, it's looking for lags bigger than the threshold, which is in fact 2 weeks at the moment. So it's looking for lags, relationships with lags of more than 2 weeks. There's 130 relationships, and none of them fail the test. So none of the lags are more than 2 weeks. Now, I happen to know there's one with a lag of more than 1 week, so I'm going to edit this and say 1 week. And now it's found that there's 1 out of 130 relationships has a lag of more than 1 week. Now, the other thing, or another thing that we can edit here is what we call the goal. This has been set up so that it basically prohibits any lags of more than a week. It says we don't want we want 0 lags to be more than a week. But I can edit this. I can change it to say I want it to be less than 5%. I can try to do that anyway. Okay. Now, it's still found 1, but because it's less than the 5% of the total number of relationships, it's coloured it yellow rather than red, and it actually represents 0.77% of the total. So that gives you an idea how you can change the different parameters of the different tests. Another parameter is this one called exclusions. We can exclude various types of tasks, indicated by letters C for complete, S for summary, and so on. I'm not going to go into that now because it's kind of a side issue. Anyway, let's look at a few more of the tests that we do. Another one we might want to look at is milestones with resources. Most people know that they wouldn't want resources to have milestones. If I click on that, there's only one of them. It would normally give me a list of all the milestones that have resources on them. And if I'm interested in why that's a problem, there's help information here, and there's also the ability to go straight to the user guide, to the right place in the user guide, where it will tell us more about that particular issue. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to click on the milestone, and now it will come up with some more information. And this is a tab dialog for the particular task, and it's been brought up because we have a milestone with resources. So here we have the milestone checkbox, and here we have the resources. So I could fix this problem in one of 2 ways. I could delete the resource, or I could get rid of the milestone flag. I'm going to just get rid of the milestone flag. And when I press OK, it's disappeared from this list. And when I close the dialog, here we have the milestones with resources. It's now showing 0 out of 0, which means there are no milestones. Okay, let's look at another test. The out-of-sequence test is an interesting one. It's about tasks which have been progressed when they really shouldn't be, according to the logic of the network. And again, there's only one of them. And if I click, do the same thing. If I click on the task that it's found, it'll bring up that same tabbed dialog, and it's sort of inviting me to change the start date to planned. In other words, I could cancel the progress and say it hasn't really started. But this is a good point to show you some of the other features. Although we brought up this dialog from the fact that we'd failed a particular test, we've actually still got all the tabs, and we can look at them, and any test that is failed will give us the ability to fix all the problems with this project, or this task rather, in one go. What I'm actually going to do this time is I'm going to say, well, this task really has finished, and I understand that the predecessor hasn't finished. So what I could do is just break the logic and get rid of this relationship. And when I get rid of the relationship, again, it's no longer out of sequence. It's removed from this list. And again, the out of sequence progress test has gone green. Another test we might want to look at is redundant predecessors. Now, redundant predecessors are extra relationships which are there that don't really need to be there, because they're actually implied by other strings of relationships. And we've got a lot of them in this network. We've got all of these tasks have redundant relationships. If I click on the first one, which is task 3, it will actually give me, it will list all the relationships that task has. In this case, it's only got one. And if it's a redundant relationship, it will put a little button there. When I click on that button, it shows me exactly why it's related, why it's redundant. In this particular case, we've got a task which is called Get Requirements for UAV, and it's redundant because there's another path from that same task to the current task, but it actually goes through the parent. It's actually saying that I've got a predecessor, which is this task here, but the parent also has a predecessor with that same task there. So you can see that it takes into account child-parent relationships. Of course, a lot of people don't like relationships on summary tasks, so you may not want to do this, but one of the options you've got is to delete the redundant. I'm going to delete it. And you'll see that it's been removed from this list. And basically, when I press close, it will redo the test and it will come up with one fewer. I'm not going to do that yet because I wanted to show you another feature. A lot of the problems you might have are best fixed in Microsoft Project. And the way to do that, or the way to make that easy, is to highlight the tasks, or even to filter the tasks so that the Microsoft Project view will only have those tasks in it. But I'm just going to highlight it because you can see I've highlighted it, and all the tasks that have failed the test are highlighted in yellow. If I go back into here, and this time I've taken another one, well, didn't mean to do that. I've taken another one, and I'm going to delete this one as well. And then and that was task 7. By the way, you'll notice task 3 and task 7 are both highlighted at the moment. We've actually fixed both of those problems, but it hasn't redone the highlighting yet. When I press OK and then press close, it will get rid of the highlights on 3 and 7, but it's still got the highlights on the others. I'd also like to show you the DCMA view. The DCMA is the Defence Contractors Management Association, or agency rather, and they have a particular format. This is disabled at the moment, and the reason it's disabled is because some of the parameters that we've got set in here don't conform with the requirements of the DCMA assessment guide. So the easiest way to fix that is to reset it for DCMA. It's reset all the parameters, redone the tests, and so on. If I now press the DCMA view, this is sort of the standard presentation of how the results of the DCMA assessment guide is shown. This and all the other views can be printed or copied to the clipboard so that we can insert them into Word or other documents. And that's pretty much rounds up what I wanted to say. I hope that it's shown you what we can do, and if you want to know more, you can try it out yourself. You can download a free 30-day trial from barbecana.com. Thank you.